Where do we go from here?
Let's do the drama topics. As you say, there was obviously a big thing. Now, to be fair, this is all like leaked stuff. And by the way, I'm not involved in any of the journalists who report this. I can't verify how accurate it is or how much more there is behind the scenes. In fact, this is one of those rare stories where I know nothing about the behind the scenes. I've never heard any of this stuff. So basically, the story goes, right, people have to remember something, first of all, which is a bit confusing, which is that, remember, Koi, the brand, the fucking Ibai brand, has now been associated with 3 different LEC teams, hasn't it? Because it was obviously Rogue before, then it was Mad Lions, and now it's Movistar, right? And so part of the issue there is when you brand and move between these companies, it's why, for example, people don't actually know always when a team sells the slot. Does that mean they're buying the team and the slot, or are they doing like KC, they're just buying the slot? So people sometimes wonder, like, if you buy a Stralis slot, do you keep like Cobby or Leader or something like that, or will you just bring your own people in? So similarly with staff, when you do these partnerships, basically the setup of this that I think people missed was, it's the notion that this is the staff of the previous set, like the Mad Lions staff basically, and they're now working with like the Movistar people, and they're like, it's a new set of people coming in. And the implication basically is that they're almost like, in some cases, either just incompetent or, so it was almost even implied some of them might maliciously be doing this as like a saboteur or something, like they don't like the people they have to work with now. And so, for example, like this, it depends how hard you want to go on this. Like, on the one hand, there's the quite light-hearted thing of like, they were using like homeopathy as a fucking method to like treat people or whatever. Then there's the parts where it gets a bit darker, like the idea someone is drinking a smoothie and it's got broken glass in it or something. Or the idea that like someone has a nut allergy, which obviously certain nut allergies can quite literally kill you. Like they can make like you swell up and you just die. And that someone, rather than just going, oh, you have a nut allergy, it's like, I think secretly I'll test if you really do have a nut allergy. Which is like, what are you talking about? Like, so some of this actually goes from like lol, weird drama to like, some of it's like a bit sinister, mate. Like, fucking, are people going to die because of this? Like, what's going on? So where do you want to approach this? Because the whole thing just sounded fucking crazy, mate. Like, I almost wanted this to be fake.
It's weird because like the interaction I had with people that are within the Spanish community, apparently this is something that has been like leaked from sources that should know. This is something that's been talked about. People are already aware of this for a long time. I had no idea. I had to see this post. In my mind, it's like to try to rationalize the, let's say, potential honesty. Like, is this honest? Is no? I would lean towards yes, because of the entire situation. It would be so easy to disprove, right? If any of the players or anything, they would just say, no, this is straight up lying. It would be so easy to just disprove because this is of course very severe accusations. If it's untrue, you don't let this rest. And then the reaction to it, that basically the management in Madrid is now taken over because clearly there's a disconnect there. They also, of course, as you mentioned, they did inherit a lot of the staff on site with the connection to MKoi, the Mad Lion staff. There was only, of course, the coaching staff that left to Vitality, which is Mac and Pad, of course. So that part, it's like, in terms of some of these accusations, it's like borderline fucking attempted murder, putting glass in a smoothie, like testing someone's allergies. The topic of, another thing that was mentioned is the fact that they did not boot camp in Berlin, even though Worlds was in Berlin. They moved to Madrid. It just seems like one of those things where someone should be held accountable, right? Like, if these are the actions that are occurring, I would like to have a name. I would like to have some kind of accountability because apparently the person who was involved with this is now working for Vitality. Because Niski made the point, like Niski said publicly, that when I'm working with this person and I never had any issue. He did the thing where he was nice to me, that angle. So like, if this person that did these things and they are true that these things happen and that they are still working in esports, it's kind of scary because I feel like these are actions that should, remove you from the situation. And then the question is, we've had 2 situations now where Ibai has worked with first Rogue, and that relationship was apparently very sour. There was like many money issues. Like that was like something that he wanted to get out of right away. And now here with this Mad Lion situation that they are, of course, creating an unacceptable professional environment. It's like there needs to be, some kind of let's say some sense of justice. Like, what's happening? Who's responsible? Like, there needs to be somebody responsible. Like, Like this, oh, my house is on fire. Who did this? So it's just we're gonna put out the fire. We're gonna send in like the Madrid team, and then we're not gonna investigate. No one's gonna, there's not gonna be any form of justice here. So on my side, the aftermath of this should be there should be some kind of a follow up here, so we know what the hell is going on. Like, I don't know if Jojo Pune is cursed. That's what a lot of people mentioned, that he just joins orgs that like EG first and now MKoi, he just ends up in trouble. Because at least in the aftermath of EG, how weird it was that someone could just fade to obscurity in terms of what happened. At least, this fucking org fucked off to the other side, and it's just gone now. But then there needs to be some kind of justice here. I don't know how you feel.
I'm just typing right now, motherfucker. Right, the second you stop talking.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Right, here's the problem. Is, as you say, the real issue with this topic, and this is where people don't go extreme enough, is what you have to ask is what was possible to happen. Like that thing with the glass and the nut thing. Like I'm saying, someone could literally die because of that. Like that's not even like funny anymore at that point in time. That's only funny if it's like, nothing went wrong, though, and it's all safe. Like even the implication, that's really disturbing. Like, why is anyone doing anything like that? Like, I agree with you. That's the sort of thing where, to me, you shouldn't even just be like fired and punished. There should almost be like some sort of like an org shared blacklist that you get put on, so you never get hired to a fucking LEC or LTA org ever again. Like, that's completely beyond the pale to me. Like, that's fucking. I can say that's not even something within the purview of your job. And also the idea, by the way, I mean, we just went through this 5 years ago, guys, surely, with the idea of like what is bodily autonomy and who should get say over what we do medically, etc. The idea is some like random cook guys just getting to decide like whether I actually have a nut allergy. What the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, bro? You're just some guy. Like, you're playing with people's lives over that. Like that's not even within your fucking. That's in English you would say that's above your pay grade, mate. Leave that alone. Like even the notion you think you have that level of say over the people you work with is really out there. To me, I'm with you. Like, I almost think there should be like a harsh response to this. This shouldn't just be like, haha, look at this crazy drama in Koi. It should be like, what the fuck's going on with these specific people who are behind that? Because there's the other thing. I don't want it to just be like the org was badly run. Who are those specific people? We should almost name and shame those people. Like, that's really fucking alarming shit, mate. Because yes, nothing bad happened this time. Notice the key words there are this time, though. Who the fuck knows what happens if that person gets in that scenario again? And then, because I'm thinking of even worse things than that, mate. Like, what if someone says something, oh, I'm diabetic? It's like, are you though, really though? Maybe I'll just put a load of sugar in and say, what are we doing? Like, again, you could, like, this is extreme shit. And the sad thing is, I hate the idea that we can only fix things like that after the fact. We have to wait till someone dies before we do something like this. No, this is the warning sign right here. This is the fucking canary in the coal mine, and the canary's dead, mate. So let's get on with it. Let's get everyone out this coal mine in this analogy. This is fucking dangerous. And this is also why, I'll tell you a bigger point I could broach into here, Yamato. This is why a really misunderstood part of LEC is the franchising part. People still treat LEC like it's EULCS, Yamato. EULCS essentially was only about how good are the 5 players in the server. And so as a result, if your 5 players are Jizuke and the Giants players, it doesn't matter that other people might not like them, or they might think they're toxic, or what's Giants the org like. None of that's relevant. All that's relevant is, can they win the game and get into the ULCS? LEC is supposed to be professional sports. It's supposed to be the idea that all 10 teams are partners in a joint venture called the LEC, that they all want to succeed, hence why all those things we said about the homestands earlier. You should want G2 at your homestand. They bring something to your homestand that you don't actually give to them when they attend it. Like, they're the guest. They're actually the one that you should be catering to. So I agree. This is why there's a lot of things go on in franchise leagues that fans will never understand. Like the idea that, for example, you might get a team that in the server would be great in LEC, but maybe the org is like this. Maybe it's a shit show. Maybe it's all amateurish as fuck. Maybe they don't put any money into infrastructure. You know what? If I'm the other teams in the LEC, Yamato, I wouldn't vote for that team. I would vote for a team that might be not even in league, like Na'Vi. Na'Vi's a giant esports org. They've got all this history. They've been the best in the world in game. Like, there's a reason why my business partner would be different from who would be the best in the server. And I feel as a fan, naturally, we mainly care about the player in the server. We mainly care about that, because I've seen this happen in Counter-Strike a lot as well, Yamato, where you'd have these like partner leagues where you'd have someone like Evil Geniuses, or as example, right? Evil Geniuses, until it turned out they were doing Koi shit, there wasn't a reason to remove them because Evil Geniuses, the org, has enormous fucking reach, has all American sponsors, has millions and millions to spend. Even though there were way better CS teams out there, like my mate from Finland, Nartu, an old school player, owns a team called ENS, right? They were once really good in the team. They were like maybe like third or fourth best team in the world, but that was because of the players in the server, not the org. The org wasn't on the scale of EG, mate. Like, and as you see, when they don't have as good players anymore, they're all can't compete in that way, so they don't bring the same like business partner potential that an Evil Geniuses even would alongside when they're not doing this. So this is why I actually do think people should be careful. And by the way, I'll even throw Los Ratones in there. Oh, we all love the Los Ratones players. Some of us. I actually do like Crowdy, and I think Nemesis is a good player. Some of them are good. But the problem here is this. Aside from Cadril, we don't really know much about the Los Ratones org, mates. Like, if I had to guess right now, Navi would be way more appropriate to bring to the LEC than Los Ratones, even though Los Ratones would bring all this hype and all these great star players. So it's why I do think you have to be very careful in a franchise system that it's not just competitive. You need to vet the orgs, because essentially what you're saying when you bring that team into LEC, like you've done with Koi here, is this is one of the best orgs in European esports in League of Legends. That's the stamp of approval you are giving them. And also, as you find, by the way, funnily enough, like the EGs of the world or the Rogues, once you let someone into one of these leagues for legal reasons, it's really hard to kick them out. You can't just kick them out tomorrow because you don't like them. So that's why I think you have to be super strict when you vet these people. I think we almost need, like, for real, before you even get to join, you shouldn't just have to have the money and a business plan and show you should almost have to have like inspections, mate. You know what they say, like nuclear inspectors around countries to check what the situation. You should almost have to check like all your facilities are legit and you're making the correct investments, that you have like on-site staff that are all like at a certain grade of certification. This person has like a degree in nutrition. I don't know what the fuck it would be. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel there should be like a gold standard that is LEC approved, because else how are we going to stop shit like this? It can't only just come out in leaks.
It's just like the additional layer of that post was that there was a like implied financial also abuse in terms of there was like some incentives that they needed to reach that were insanely vague, set by, I believe, the GM, is what the post says. And that when they were speaking up about these issues, that their pay would be docked. And to create that type of a dynamic, like you are breaking so many laws. It's like,
that's crazy.
In terms of like, it's sad that there's a lot of cases where, you know, the fact that for players' sake, that LEC is in Germany is insanely powerful, because Germany has a very, very strong, of course, social safety net for the employees. It's like you are extremely safe in your contract. You have so many rights that you can, of course, exercise. And in the context of this, it's like this is a bunch of players out of Spain that just want to play the game, and they could completely annihilate them. They could annihilate them if these things are true and they have proof for it. Like they could lose everything, and there could be like almost charges also levied against them in terms of how, so the level of negligence that is just used here in terms of the employer and the person that got away with this, and then to use, of course, financial abuse to stop any kind of dissent. Because in the post it was also said that Melizet, the coach, was criticizing how they were using their academy team and he lost pay for this. And the fact that this needed to be leaked in order to get out in the first place is crazy, right? I kind of wish that they would band together and speak about this publicly, because they would have the full support of, I imagine, the whole esports scene and also the fucking government. So I hope something comes out of it. That's like the main thing, because this was last year. I don't know if the issues are probably not the same now because changes have happened. But this decision from, I believe, the CSO did say that now the operations is being ran out of Madrid. The fact that it took so long and a post from the fan club for this to happen also implies a lot of issues, because I imagine these players that are very competitive, of course, have demands and set a standard, because I think any coach worth their salt would want to protect their players. And I imagine that Melzet would act the same.
By the way, I also agree with what you said earlier. A giveaway is that, like, first of all, you wouldn't even be able to stop pro players. A million of them would have tweeted if this was all nonsense. And especially major org people would come out and make very strong statements against this and against the people leaking and all the people. That not only hasn't happened, but as you say, one of the main people from, like, essentially the Mad Lions / overactive media, he basically even just came out and was sort of like, okay, we're going to make sure things are better now. Like, the way that was phrased gave the whole game away, Yamato. It kind of makes it obvious. See, that's the thing, Yamato. Sometimes people might reveal things, mate, that people are really dark from behind the scenes that you don't want to believe are true. But then when nobody involved comes forward and says it's lies, that almost shows it's correct. Weird how that works, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.